Gamepad, arcade stick, and a leverless. If you've ever been around anybody in the fighting game community, you've probably heard these words before, but never really gave it a second thought. Depending on the game, a different controller can actually make things easier for you. Gamepads, or what like 95% of people mean when they say the word controllers, is your standard issue controller with whatever console you're playing on, be it PlayStation or Xbox. If we're talking examples, I feel like Mortal Kombat gets the most entrance with base controllers, and for the type of combos that game requires, I can totally understand not needing anything more than just the essentials. Arcade sticks is where it gets a little bit more advanced. Typically, people who use arcade sticks either grew up going to an actual physical arcade and played on cabinets for hours, or perhaps you've gotten accustomed to playing fighting games, but you find that the regular controller feels a bit off. You have your standard 8-button layout on the right side of the stick, and on the left you're given a joystick. Now typically that'd be it for most, however, as you enter the rabbit hole that is arcade sticks, you'll find out that people are serious about this stuff. You have sticks that use silent buttons for the late night players, tactile buttons that let you feel when the button is being pressed better, or even something as simple as different colors. And that's not even getting into the plethora of options that the joystick itself can have, as there are typically 3 different types of gates that people use that each has their own pros and cons. Gates, by the way, are essentially a little plastic piece that stops the inner stick and acts like a walls for the 4 switches inside. So something like a square gate might be the default, but people who need it might use an octagonal gate to get those fireballs and dragon punches out easier. And finally, the Leverless, the quote-unquote pro controller of the bunch. Leverless controllers is the newer gem when it comes to fighting game peripherals, and its intention is to allow the player to have full control over their gameplay. Things like missed inputs or faulty joysticks might mean you miss your game-winning combo or have to deal with the hassle of fixing it. With a Leverless, you not only have 8 buttons on the right side of your controller, you now also gain 4 extra buttons. And these act as your movement buttons, so starting on the far left side, you have left, down, right, and up. So you'd use your ring, middle, and index fingers for the first 3 inputs, then you'd actually use your right thumb for controlling jump. Now everybody that I know, myself included, knows that once you start playing on a Leverless, the learning curve is huge because you're essentially relearning how to use a controller all over again. However, I promise you, the comfort of only having to use your fingers while playing and knowing that no matter what happens, it was because you pressed something is such a nice feeling to have. All of that to say, no matter what controller you use, chances are you're still gonna get 3-0'd by the people who have dedicated their time and effort into playing these games well, so maybe think about it before you decide to spend some hard cash on a new way to play your favorite fighter. However, if anybody ever wants me to review their Leverless on here, here's my business email, hit me up.